Hey guys, I'm Bruce, and welcome to another kick-ass video. Think you've played everything worth booting up on your PS5? Think again. While big-name blockbusters hog the spotlight, we see you, Kratos. There's a whole underground of brilliant games quietly flexing just out of frame. These criminally underrated gems slipped through the cracks like a dual sense between couch cushions. From bizarre horror fever dreams to cosmic road trips with haunted station wagons, this list is here to rescue your backlog from boredom. Ready to discover your next favourite? Wait, how did I miss this title? Let's dive in. Towers of Aghasba. Can you imagine being the world's chillest junior architect / ecological saviour dropped into a fantasy island that's equal parts Studio Ghibli and Minecraft? That's the setup here, where the Shimu people have finally returned home after a withered-sized eviction notice, and you're the one holding the divine zoning permits. You'll explore jaw-dropping landscapes that look like someone turned a paintbrush loose in Unreal Engine, towering cliffs, glowing forests, bizarre creatures that feel plucked out of a lucid dream. But you're not just sightseeing, oh no. You're restoring villages from scratch, deciding where homes go, decorating like HGTV met Breath of the Wild, and then coaxing life back into scorched earth by planting alien flora, attracting critters and playing nice with the literal gods. When the mood strikes, you'll also gear up and head into the creepy withered zones to smack some darkness around with handcrafted weapons. Add in co-op multiplayer, where each buddy gets their own island and no one griefs your crops. And it becomes a chilled-out, eco-restoration fever dream with just enough bite. Quest progress for guests is still a work in progress, but the vibe? Pure cozy fantasy. Honestly, this is the kind of game that quietly becomes your new digital home.
I will watch over you all as your blades carve a new future.
Rise of the Ronin. Rewrite Japan's future with every decision, hairstyle, and politically loaded sword swing. Set in the turbulent Bakumatsu era, this open-world samurai RPG throws you into the sandals of a nameless Ronin with the freedom to buddy up with the shogunate, rebel against them, or swipe right on the west and watch the fireworks. It's not just hack and slash either. You'll duel, stealth, snipe, glide off rooftops, and even debate whether a guy named Naosuke Lee deserves a swift assassination or a second chance. The combat's all about picking your flavour, dual blades, spears, odachi, and mastering multiple fighting styles depending on whether your enemy is rocking a gun or just bad vibes. Every battle feels weighty, and every faction choice tilts the entire narrative like a katana-balanced seesaw. Want to pause between revolutions? Roam the scenic streets of Kyoto or Yokohama. Snap cherry blossom selfies in photo mode, or tweak your Ronin's face until it screams aesthetic warlord. And on PC, this thing sings 8K, 120 FPS, ray tracing, the works. It's like Ghost of Tsushima's political cousin who studied abroad and came back with a glider and trust issues. Criminally underrated, number straight up samurai cinema in game form. Returnal. It's like Groundhog Day, but with way more alien tentacles, existential dread, and laser-shooting death orbs. You crash as Celine, a badass astronaut with a PhD in getting obliterated, only to wake up seconds later in the same wrecked suit, doomed to relive the same horrifying loop on the ever-shifting planet Atropos. Every run reshapes the landscape, the loot, and your odds of finally not dying in the same hallway again. Returnal blends third-person shooter intensity with rogue-like chaos, cranking the tension up to, oh god, my controller's sweating. Enemies? Unrelenting. Combat? Bullet hell ballet. Add co-op, and now you can scream in existential terror with a friend as you tackle procedurally generated nightmares together. Want to flex your skill? Enter the Tower of Sisyphus. An endless vertical murder marathon where your only reward is a slightly higher score and spiritual exhaustion. And on PC, it looks ridiculously good. We're talking 4K, ray tracing, ultra-wide screens so big you can practically fall into them, and audio that lets you hear alien screams from behind your actual couch. Returnal is stylish, punishing, weirdly emotional, and criminally overlooked. A perfect storm for masochists with taste.
Make one.
Unknown 9, Awakening. 1 minute you're walking through Mauritania, minding your business, and the next, boom, you're stepping into a parallel dimension and hurling shadow energy like it's no big deal. That's daily life for Haruna, a gifted quester who can slip into the fold, a shadowy dimension that overlaps reality like a haunted Snapchat filter. In this slick third-person action-adventure, you won't just be punching bad guys, you'll be possessing them, dodging bullets Matrix-style, vanishing mid-fight, and basically ghosting your way through danger. It's stealth meets supernatural, with a smattering of sass and global mystery. Whether you're navigating the humid chaos of Indian jungles or unraveling cryptic conspiracies in Gothic Portugal, the vibe screams Indiana Jones with powers and way cooler pants. But Haruna's not just globe-trotting for kicks. She's hunted by the Ascendants, a group that wants to weaponize the fold and rewrite history like it's fan fiction. The combat is fast and flashy, with umbric energy powers that let you shape the battlefield or melt into the shadows. And if that wasn't mysterious enough, the whole thing is part of a bigger multimedia web of books, podcasts, and who knows what, making this one a rabbit hole you'll be happy to fall down. Underrated? More like unfairly unnoticed.
It's RoboCop!
It's that service box, isn't it?
I am detecting a short circuit. Wakey, wakey!
Looking at the map of this place.
RoboCop Rogue City. You ever wanted to be a walking tank with a deadpan delivery and a justice fetish? Welcome to the dystopian dream that is RoboCop Rogue City. Set between RoboCop 2 and 3, this first-person shooter doesn't just slap a license on and call it a day. It feels like stepping inside the franchise's gritty, neon-lit, crime-infested Detroit. You'll dish out justice with the Auto 9 infinite ammo baby. Yeet TVs at criminals and casually scan for traffic violations between shootouts like your Judge Dredd on Community Patrol. And yes, Peter Weller is back. And yes, it's glorious. Missions mix brutal shootouts with actual detective work, side quests, and moral choices that impact your public trust and story outcomes. Should you handle a suspect with diplomacy or let RoboFist do the talking? Your call, just know that Detroit's watching. The story's surprisingly layered, too. You're not just battling gangs with names like Torchheads and Street Vultures, but uncovering brain-harvesting conspiracies, fighting a second-gen RoboCop possessed by a dead CEO, and trying to keep your crumbling humanity intact while your cybernetic brain gets hacked by a Bic lighter. Toss in upgrades, morality shifts, Lewis in a coma, and a finale that ends with OCP in flames. And you've got a game that delivers way more than nostalgia. It's brutal, heartfelt, and honestly, way smarter than anyone expected. Marvel's Midnight Suns. When XCOM developers said, let's make a Marvel game, nobody expected them to toss in a demonic mom, a haunted dog, deck-building battles, and Deadpool cracking jokes about Blade's skincare routine. But here we are. Midnight Suns is what happens when you take your favourite Avengers, mix in the spookier side of Marvel like Ghost Rider and Magic, and wrap it all in a tactical RPG with card-flipping mayhem and soap opera-level bonding sessions. You play as the Hunter, the resurrected child of Lilith. Yes, that Lilith. And it's your job to assemble a squad that includes everyone from Wolverine to Nico Minoru to stop your mum from summoning Cthulhu's crankier cousin. Gameplay flips the typical button-mashing chaos of superhero games into brainy, turn-based chess where each card in your hand is an ability, and every choice matters. But in between fights, you get to chill at a gothic Hogwarts-style mansion called the Abbey, gossip with Tony Stark, pet your demon dog Charlie, and unlock new powers by becoming BFFs with vampires and sorcerers. The DLCs? They go full bananas, Dracula, vampires, storms, mutant side quests, and Deadpool being peak Deadpool. Underrated? This is Marvel's weirdest, wildest, most tactical fever dream, and it's criminally slept on.
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel. We meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh, their new...
Star Wars Outlaws. Finally, a Star Wars game where you're not a Jedi, not a Sith, and not even remotely interested in saving the galaxy. Unless there's credits involved. Star Wars Outlaws gives you the boots of Kay Vess, a sharp-tongued rogue with a fuzzy sidekick named Nyx, and a tendency to get herself deep into galactic trouble. Set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, this open-world scoundrel simulator lets you flirt with danger across seedy cantinas, hostile planets, and Imperial-infested space, all while trying to pull off the ultimate heist. Forget force powers. This game's all about stealth takedowns, blaster shootouts, space dogfights, bribery, sabotage, and speeder bike joyrides across alien landscapes. Kay's reputation with crime syndicates and her decisions on who to help or double-cross directly affect gameplay, perks, and whether she gets shot in the back during negotiation. Her ship, the Trailblazer, is your customizable getaway ride, and you'll recruit a ragtag crew, including a droid smith, a slicer, a petulant bounty hunter, and even your estranged mum. The plot twists harder than a pod race, with betrayal, backstabbing, and even Darth Vader showing up to ruin everyone's day. Throw in a Sabak side quest with Lando Calrissian and a moon heist, and you've got the galaxy's most stylish criminal caper. Criminally underrated, more like criminally slept on. Slitterhead. This one's for the horror connoisseurs who like their nightmares with a side of existential time loops and body-hopping dog spirits. Slitterhead is what happens when Siren, Gravity Rush, and a particularly disturbing fever dream combine forces. Set in a grotesquely reimagined 1990s Kowloon, the game hurls you into a city riddled with shape-shifting monsters called, brace yourself, Slitterheads. They don't just kill you, they mutilate, infect, and emotionally scar anyone in the zip code. You play as Night Owl, a spectral being who possesses anything with a heartbeat, yes, including dogs, to fight back using sheer will, messed up logic, and time-bending powers. Alongside Julie, a rare human who remains conscious during possession, you recruit other rarities to take down bigger, nastier Slitterheads. But as timelines collapse and alternate realities bleed together, one of your own starts unraveling in the worst way possible. Cue Alex, the time-looping rarity turned unhinged Slitterhead hunter who starts murdering your team over and over again like it's his hobby. The final acts? Mind-bending, tragic, and packed with enough psychological drama to make David Lynch sweat. Gameplay's a wild fusion of action-adventure combat, stealth, puzzle-solving, and full-blown surrealism. Mixed reviews aside, it's a bold, bizarre, time-travel horror trip that'll either haunt your dreams or have you Googling, what the hell did I just play? Criminally underrated? Absolutely. This one bleeds cult classic energy.
To the government's claim of eminent domain and subsequent seizure of the peninsula, the evacuation of 100,000 people, and the attempt and abject failure.
Pacific Drive. You're trapped in a radioactive, reality-warping wasteland with a haunted station wagon that loves you a little too much. Welcome to Pacific Drive, the survival road trip you never asked for, but absolutely should take. Set in the bizarrely twisted Olympic exclusion zone, this first-person anomaly-dodging joyride has you scavenging junkyards, dodging psychic thunderstorms, and duct-taping spark plugs together with the sheer force of desperation. Your ride isn't just transportation, it's your bunker, your mule, your best friend, and occasionally your possessed stalker. Oh, and it develops quirks like honking every time you change the radio station. That's not a glitch, it's lore. When you're not frantically patching tyres with sealant or swerving around a levitating barn, you'll return to your garage, a cozy, liminal nightmare where you craft upgrades, fix broken parts, and try to decode why the washing machine now growls. The deeper you go into the zone, the weirder things get. Think radiation storms, angry appliances, and ghostly VHS mazes. But there's heart too. Conversations with ghost scientists, emotional sacrifices, and a finale that'll have you questioning whether you just finished a game or completed a paranormal therapy session. It's haunting, brilliant, often infuriating, and somehow criminally underrated. Like your car, it shouldn't run this well, but it does. SnowRunner. If you've ever wanted to get stuck in knee-deep mud while hauling a trailer full of steel beams through a blizzard during a thunderstorm at 2 miles per hour, SnowRunner is your jam. It's the off-road simulator that turns slow into a full-throttle lifestyle. You'll start off innocently enough, delivering supplies across Michigan, Alaska, and beyond. But very quickly you'll be muttering, "Just one more mission," as your truck tips sideways into a swamp while you pray your winch finds something other than a twig. The game's physics? Ridiculously good. Mud clings to your tires like it's personal. Ice cracks under your wheels like a horror movie jump scare. And you'll constantly juggle when to slap on chain tires, snorkels, raised suspension, or just abandon your pride and bring out a crane. With over 40 beefy beasts from Ford to Freightliner, you'll slowly build the ultimate survival fleet, unlocking trucks that make you feel like a one-person rescue operation. But it's not all solo suffering. Bring 3 friends into the chaos in co-op and turn cargo hauling into a full-blown mud-fueled comedy. Add in mods, wild maps, and snowstorms that want to end you, and you've got the most chill yet unforgiving driving game out there. Underrated, more like underhyped mud legend. And that's 10 PS5 bangers that deserved better, screamed softly into the void, and patiently waited for you to notice them. So give the AAA titans a break and show some love to the underdogs. Your console and your gamer soul will thank you. Hit that backlog with fresh eyes, and hey, maybe your next all-time favorite was underrated all along.
Be honest and say there wasn't the budget for it. Look, Ma, I'm gonna be dead.